Number 10. David Tua.
You know what I like about Montana? There it is. The first left.
Body punches early. The ribcage of Moore, and down goes.
Tua is a New Zealand professional boxer who was a highly ranked heavyweight contender for most of his career. He was known for his terrifying punching power, especially his devastating left hook.
Wilson tries a right hand across the top. Tua lands a short one.
He scored 16 wins by knockout in the first round, which included knockouts of world heavyweight champions John Ruiz and Michael Moorer.
Rocks in the first 20 seconds of the bout. Down goes Ruiz.
In his 5 professional losses, however, Tua was never subject to a stoppage and possessed one of the most durable chins of his time. No wonder they call him the Tua-minator. Number 9. James Toney. Toney is well known to boxing fans for his defensive skills. He started as a middleweight, becoming the youngest middleweight champion, and later in his career moved all the way up to heavyweight. He was notorious for slipping and rolling with punches to absorbing the full impact. He possessed fast hand speed and respectable punching power, and is also noted for his toughness, having never lost any of his 92 professional fights by stoppage.
He said Holyfield, oh my God, he sticks his tongue out. Oh, there's a short left hook. Another one like that. At least a minute or two away from ending, yes? We may be seeing the end of an era.
Number 8. Ray Mercer. Ray fought big punchers such as Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and Shannon Briggs.
Maybe you can turn a soprano in. He might be encouraged to stay with it.
This range, both men landed. Hard right hand.
His 5-round combat with Tommy Morrison was a perfect example of his toughness and a granite chin. Morrison would have won by knockout, but Mercer withstood the punches and delivered one of the finest knockouts in heavyweight title history.
Morrison may be going. Morrison is gone.
Mercer, however, was knocked out only when he was an elderly man in his 40s by Vitali Klitschko and then Shannon Briggs.
Again, the left hook. About me.
And that's a flash, which I think was very impressive in the beginning.
There's a colossal right cross, and Mercer tries. Neil McCline seated at ringside here tonight.
Fighting a very good fight, and Mercer too.
Big left hook by Klitschko.
This could be the end here.
Number 7. Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez is largely considered the greatest boxer Mexico has ever produced. He was constantly active, stepping into the professional ring over 100 times in his career, and on many occasions, his chin led the way. It is rare for a guy to fight so often against so many great opponents, yet never be knocked down or even wounded. Before being knocked out by Frankie Randall in 1994, he had been competing for 14 years and had defended his light welterweight championship a record 20 times.
Chavez for the first time in his career.
He was one of those fighters whose style was built on taking 3 blows in order to land one. And against Meldrick Taylor, it felt like he was absorbing 8 punches for every one that he landed. Chavez was hammered in their battle, but his chin never failed him, and he was able to pull off a knockout victory in the closing seconds of the final round.
The speed of Meldrick Taylor. George Benton's game plan to perfection.
Whoa, beautiful
Trading punches in.
Number 6. George Foreman. Later in his career, in his 40s, Foreman proved that his knockout loss to Ali was due to exhaustion rather than a suspect chin. Foreman took some horrific beatings from competitors like Evander Holyfield and Michael Moorer, but he never knocked down.
Scoring heavily. A series of approximately half a dozen amazing performance. Oh, they dropped Buster Douglas for the count. But I don't think you could deny feeling it.
He was eventually able to reclaim the heavyweight crown, knocking out Moore and surprising the world. Nevertheless, it was his tremendous chin that allowed him to make it to the later rounds.
Michael Moore is down, goes Moore on a right hand. It happens. Champion of the world, Big George.
Number 5. Vitali Klitschko.
The number 1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Vitali Klitschko.
The hugely underrated Vitali Klitschko was known for having exceptional ring dominance, as well as a terrifying 87% knockout ratio at the end of his career. His only 2 losses came via a shoulder injury and a deep cut above his eye, both of which were stopped rather than knocked out. He showed what he was made of when he landed a late notice opportunity against British superstar Lennox Lewis. Vitali pushed the pace and gave Lewis a beating early on, before terrible cuts above both eyes drove him out after the 6th round. Klitschko led by scores of 58-56 on all 3 judges' cards, and had survived some uppercuts from Lewis in the previous 2 rounds without even blinking.
Vitali's got a chance for a first-round KO here. Down goes Williams.
Number 4. Marvin Hagler. Hagler had a legendary chin that helped him establish himself as one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Despite fighting the likes of Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, John Mugabe, and Sugar Ray Leonard, he has only lost 1 fight in 11 years. Hagler was only dropped once in his career, and that was an off-balance flooring against the Argentinian Juan Roldan, whom he otherwise outperformed. What puts Hagler at the top of the list is the way he took some tremendous punches from Thomas Hearns in their epic fight. That fight is widely regarded as being one of the greatest fights of all time, despite only going 3 rounds.
Paced himself. There has been no...
Number 3. Oliver McCall. His name became well known in the boxing community when he began working as a sparring partner for Mike Tyson. Mike, who had smashed previous partners, knocking them all out, earned a lot of respect for Oliver when he couldn't put him down. As the years went by, McCall has made his way into bigger fights. He later earned a fight at Lennox Lewis' WBC title and knocked him out in 2 rounds in London.
Oh, he's got him. Oh, Lewis decided it's all over. My goodness, what an upset. And Lennox...
In the rematch, McCall had a nervous breakdown inside the ring, and the fight was stopped, resulting in the loss of his title. McCall faced numerous heavyweights throughout his career and was never knocked out.
Unbelievable. That was something laughing about that right-hand punch. And again.
Number 2. Jake LaMotta. The guy known as the Raging Bull had certainly the greatest chin in middleweight history, having been stopped only 4 times in over 100 pro fights.
I guess God gifted me with a hard head because I really couldn't feel punches. I auditioned myself many years ago that nobody could hurt me, mentally, yeah. So I did it unconsciously, instinctively, I did it, and I believed it.
Few boxers could have taken the beating that he absorbed from Sugar Ray Robinson on 6 different occasions without collapsing. During their last fight, Robinson delivered many brutal strikes to LaMotta's head, but he absorbed them all and never fainted. In that fight, LaMotta took the kind of beating that would have finished any other boxer. The referee eventually called an end to the bloodbath, but he could be seen smiling behind his red mask, happy in the knowledge that Robinson had not been able to knock him down.
He knows, head shake at the ringside. The fight is going to be stopped.
Number 1. George Chuvalo. Battling in the most competitive heavyweight division in history, this brave Canadian boxer took the hardest shots of Ali, Foreman, Frazier, Patterson, Zora Fali, and surprisingly, he never once tasted the canvas.
I'm kind of unusual in the sense that I've never ever kissed the canvas, never been knocked down in my 97 pro fights, and I'm kind of proud of that.
He fought in 93 fights, and not in one of these had he been knocked off his feet. Chuvalo had an inhuman ability to take punches. In one of the fights against Frazier, Chuvalo suffered a fractured cheekbone. The fight was stopped, but he was standing till the end. If he wasn't born in the era of Ali, Frazier, and Foreman, he would have won a championship title. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new videos.